folks, so trying a little different tact here. I've got these big, I don't know, 12 inch. Shit, they're bigger than that. 24 inch. No, not 24. Anyhow, I got these big C-clamps, and I've got them chained together so that they're one unit. And I'm putting a little bit of pressure on it. I'm going to put a little bit more pressure. I'll oil it down, and I'll probably let it sit overnight. And with any luck, it'll decide to come loose. All right, we'll see in a little while. All right, folks, so I got these two big C-clamps torqued about as hard as I can get them. Now we're putting a little heat on this. Winoak, Maryland. Hello?
Security?
Social security, yeah. I have an appointment. Didn't tell me when the appointment was.
Oh. I'm not a phone.
I'm just gonna put fire on this and God damn it. So yeah, folks, we're gonna put heat on this until it budges or we run out of gas. There's a lot of pressure on it, and I'm hoping that a combination of pressure and heat will pop this thing loose. We'll be back in a little bit. Hey folks, welcome back. Dr. Dungeon. And Whew. Yeah, I spent most of the day yesterday trying to get the cross slide off, and it is on there good. And I'm afraid I'm going to wind up breaking something. And so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on dropping the apron. So if I can drop the apron, then I should be able to get the whole saddle off. And then if I have the saddle off, I can actually mount this up in my big press, and you know, I can put controlled pressure right where it's needed, and hopefully not break anything. But I mean, I have tapped and I have pounded, and I have, you know, I got these two big clamps on there. I did manage to move it probably 1/4 of an inch. Maybe a little bit more, but it is stuck fast. And so, you know, it may be that I have to go back to that and continue pounding with a bronze bar, which is what I was doing. Again, I got some movement out of it, but you know, it moved out a little bit and then it was done. So things we do to try to move forward. So I'm going to go ahead and take the clamps off. You know, I even let it set with the clamps pressed hard. I mean, literally as hard as I could crank them, thinking that overnight, you know, that it might budge a little bit, but it's not budging. It's not moved a bit. Like I said, I did have some success. It's moved about 1/4 of an inch. It does have to come off this way. So you know, at the moment, I'm going to move on to something different, and then we'll come back to that again. Hopefully I can get the saddle off, or I mean the apron off, then I can pull the whole saddle, and then you know, from there we can put this in the press, and you know, then I can fully support the whole front of the saddle, and then put pressure solely on this, and it's going to be, you know, I can put an aluminum block in there, so it's, you know, it'll be a better than banging around on it with a bronze bar. At least that's what I think. So hang tight. Here we go. Thanks for watching. All right. So first thing I want to do, I got to clean out all the gunk out of these screw heads. There's a bunch. That way I can get bit down in there as far as it'll go. The larger cap screws have been coming out pretty easily. The small ones, I think I've gotten one out without stripping out the head. But every one of the larger ones I've been able to get out. So this is going to be a little bit of I think I'll just set it on time lapse, because you know, I'm going to be spending a little bit of time doing this. So I'll go ahead and start unscrewing all of them, and then I'll put a bolt back into probably 2 of these, and that way I can control it down, and that way I don't lose it, because that apron is quite heavy. It's probably 50, 60 pounds anyhow, might be more than that. So anyhow, that's what we're going to do. I'm going to put you on time lapse, and we'll just let this run. All right, folks, so a little change in plans. So what I'm trying to do now, I've got I got the saddle loose from the apron. The apron is actually hung on the lead screw, but I don't have access because it's all rusted tight. I can't do a normal disassembly on this. I have to work stuff as I can. So what I'm doing is I'm going to, the last thing that I have to do, I think, to remove the apron itself, or excuse me, the saddle itself, is to pull the wipers off, because the wipers are shaped so that they come all the way around. So I've got this one loose. There are 2 screws here. There's a 3rd screw here holding in the bottom piece. The one backed right out, and the other one I actually had to use a punch and start walking it around, and it came out. I'm not sure about the 3rd one. I'm not sure about over here, but we'll see. So anyhow, like I said, once I get these loose, I think I can pick up the saddle and leave the apron in place, and then that gives me access to the back side of the apron as well as the top side of the apron, to start getting some of this other stuff out. This is yeah, this is definitely one of the more challenging projects I've worked on. Even the other lathes weren't this challenging. All right, where's that light, baby?
Right here.
Could just slide it right along there, I guess. Yeah, that's what we'll do. All right. Yeah, this is you can't do anything in any real type of order like you would normally expect to do it. But we're making progress. You know, I'm going to win. I'm sure of it. I'm sure of it. All right. We're going to put you back on time lapse, and then we'll see what we do. Huh? She was thinking about it, for sure. Alright, so yeah, there's the problem right there. We got a bearing sitting here. My light. Can you hear my light? There you go. Yeah, so I got a bearing sitting right there. Okay. Like this. Yeah. That's right. Because those are out. That smaller, that way. See, we got a roller here underneath that edge, and the thing that's connecting it is this. Which has another one. Okay. Hold it like one. So I suspect that is key to that. So let me see. Put this bit back on here a little bit. I can rack that and make the back pop up.
Was it out the hall? It looked like it was going up.
So this fucker's got to come out of here. So this is a shaft. It should be a feed shaft. Okay, stop it for a minute. Oh, wait, this way. Vice grips, please. Probably right here. Right. Really? Can you do me a favor, buddy? Just turn that way. Get your fingers in there. See? Key. Yeah! One step closer. You'll put that part in that little bucket over there.
Okay.
That'll do shit. That is loose. Why is that stuck in there? Alright, can you hold that right there? Oh, we're holding it in with that. Hold that. What the heck? Out. I think it's just so badly corroded in there. It's not wanting to come out. There's nothing there. What is that? Oh, that's an oiler. What that is. Okay, so there's an oiler, so I gotta undo that for sure. Okay. Alright, so we got an oiler there that we just unhooked, and if you look down in there, is. It's old, crusty, and musty. Yeah, this apron. This is what I've expended so much effort on. I got the lock nut off, but I can't get that one off to save my life. But I don't really need it at this point. So yeah, I think I can just walk this shaft out, but I don't think it actually interfaces with anything, just in case there. But we'll find out in a minute. All right, folks, that was a huge achievement getting that silly thing off of there. Wow. And then if we go back over, let me have that. I'll give you this. Can you hold that right there? You can just grab my glove if you want.
I got it.
It's just precariously there. Yeah, buddy. Man alive. Yeah. Alright, making progress. Making progress. Alright, back to time lapse. Alright, folks. And just like that, I've got the apron off. Oh man, that was a chore. I wasn't sure that we were going to get it done, but we did. Yeah, we got this thing apart, which will allow me now to focus on getting this thing all apart. And I got to figure out some way to soak this whole thing. Yeah, I'm super stoked that we got that off there. I still got to figure out how to get that cross light off, but you know, that's coming up. So anyhow, I think this is probably a good place to wrap it up for the day. And man, but again, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Yeah, so we got the major components of the saddle, the apron, the tailstock, all off the lathe. You know, again, I'm looking at the ways, and you know, it's probably likely that we're going to have to scrape those back in. But honestly, as I look at it, it's not nearly in as bad a shape as I thought it would be, and I think when we start cleaning it up, I might be pleasantly surprised. So anyhow, hey, like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a great week. Doc D out. Have a great day.